Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm concentrating on the underbody brackets. You might remember I've been over it a lot of times on this channel. What I mentioned in another video is that rather than buying all new brackets just for the sake of these small sort of fixtures or fittings, what I'm going to do is try and make my own. It can't be that difficult. In fact, I know it's not that difficult. So what I've done is I've bought some I think they're M10 standard headed bolts, and I'm going to make my own. So that's what I'm going to show you now. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is cut these to size. This, strangely enough, is a shaft of 24mm. So what I'm going to do is mark them all up, cut them all down to 24mm, and then we'll look at putting the hole in the middle. So that's cut down now to 24mm on the shaft. And then basically I drilled it out with a 4.5mm drill bit, and that fits quite snugly, very snugly in fact, on the 4.8mm stud. And what I did is I used a socket to sort of, I put the stud in the vise and then used a socket just to turn it down onto it. Okay, so then that's done now. So I've got a thread inside there, and you could smooth this off if you wanted to, but I'm not going to bother because it's hidden anyway. So take that slightly knackered and probably broken fitting out of there and slide that in there. Fits in perfectly if you don't drop it. And find a stud where you want it to go. It's a bit difficult filming and doing this, so it looks a bit cack-handed, but you get the idea. And I'm just showing you how well it works, that's all. I'm going to take it off again in a minute, but that now is absolutely tight on there, and I think it looks pretty good. I've got no problems with that. And if you save 10 euros every time you do it, and I've got to do it quite a few times, then I'm quite pleased with that. So that is one very easy way of repairing these brackets. As I mentioned before, they have like an Allen key hex fitting, which when you remove them after being there on there for 20 years, they absolutely get ruined. So as I say, rather than buying an entire new one, just buy some M10 nylon bolts from the internet. They're very cheap, and make your own. So that goes in there. And I fit it onto the car. And in fact, it's better than the original. Although it's not as flush as the original, it's better because this fitting is much easier to use than this one. And it'll last longer as well. So I'm quite pleased with that. Okay, so just carrying on a little bit. I think it's safe enough to put these AC lines in because they just stop short of the problem area. So I've put that one in there, and that's obviously using that new system there that I did. Seems absolutely fine. I think actually I've connected this up here, but it's actually too early to put this one in really, because it goes over the water lines, so I might have to take that off again, but at least it gets it on the car. But otherwise I got everything, pretty much everything down from the top shelf, and these are the main water lines. Those are the smaller secondary water lines, and I'm going to give these a clean up. So it's a bit of a crap job this, very unenjoyable, quite time consuming, and possibly even pointless, because I think with aluminium, as soon as you clean it, you drive around for a few months and it gets dirty again. But basically, I guess what I'm doing is stopping any of the pit marks getting any worse, the corrosion, and cleaning off the salt, I guess, if there's any on there. So they're looking a little bit better. So the next is to do those small secondary lines. Okay, morning guys. So back up at the workshop today. Got a couple of days off work and yeah, just see how I get on really. I don't know how much filming I'm going to do because I've got some pretty boring stuff to do, like clean up some aluminium pipes and stuff. But on Sunday, I came up here again and I didn't do any filming, but I basically spent about 3 or 4 hours tidying up the garage, which was actually quite fun. I hadn't done it for absolutely ages and there was so much work to do. So, you know, sorted out the shelving over there because they were broken. I don't know if you remember, but they fell down on me once. But just sort of sorting various things out, giving it a hoover and chucking rubbish away. I had so much rubbish and so many boxes within boxes in the shelves. It's uses so much space. And I'm sure there's still a lot of that there because, you know, I did probably 90% of the tidying up. There's always something to be done. But yeah, as I say, I'll see how I get on today and yeah, I'll give you little updates as I go. So just to give you an idea, these are the two main water pipes which go from the engine to the front of the car to the coolers. So they're pretty grim. That looks like wax. There's a lot of pitting and, you know, through the salt and also just general dirt really. So I'm going to give these a clean up and see how we get on. But otherwise, this is the notorious set of power steering lines here. They're fine right up until here, which is where they all go. I've actually cut that one through there and that one there. So what I'm trying to do, rather than buying them new is not really an option because they're about £1,000, so that's insane. But because 90% of them are fine, it's just the connections here, the flexible connections, and then the hard connections into the steering rack, which are an issue. So I'm just still trying to find an alternative solution to what Porsche build. I'm sure there's something available, but still searching. Okay, so I've spent a bit of time cleaning this pipe up, and I tell you, it does take a long time, and I guess you've got to ask yourself whether it really helps. I mean, I would never not do it. I'm a bit of a glutton for punishment like that, and just trying to get things as perfect as possible, but I'm not really willing to invest any more time and materials into it, because I'm sure there are excellent ways of cleaning these up to a far better standard than what I've done, but I think that's going to be it for me. I've got a little bit of buckling on the neck here, which I'll have to sort out from when I removed the water pipe the last time. But I think that's going to do it for me. And I've still got one more to do anyway, so I don't want it to take too much time. Okay, so the last thing is that I straightened that little lip out there, and I think that's going to be it for that one. I also cleaned up the clip and painted that. Now the next one has this earth cable attached to it, so I'm going to actually remove that, but before I do, just make a quick video of how it goes together. Yeah, that's pretty much it then. Okay, I'm going to clean this one up now. Okay, so I originally thought I'd leave these clips on there, but looking at them, they're plainly they're quite corroded. They're not that bad, but I mean, I'm gonna just call up the Porsche Centre now, see if they can get me some new ones. These ones are fine. I don't think you're supposed to reuse them because they lose their springs. So I'm gonna take this off now and get a couple of. Okay, so I actually got the Dremel out and made the screw into a flathead screw, and because I don't want to break the top of the screw off, I was just gently persuading it, and then slowly but surely. You can see there, it's still breaking parts off, and that's how that was in there. So I'm quite pleased that is now coming out. Very pleased, in fact, because it means I don't have to buy another bracket, and it means I've saved something as well. Not only money, but you know, resources as well. I'm quite interested in sustainability. So he says, having 3 cars, but anyway. You know what I mean. So I'm going to have to try and find out what thread this is for this screw, and then see if I can find another one. It looks very similar to the thread on the underbody studs, which was a D number, D5 I think it was. But anyway, I'll take that to the hardware store and see if they can find me one. Okay, so just having taken these brackets off, you can see it's worth doing because it's all caked up with nastiness under there. And obviously some of the screws are all right, but that one certainly needs replacing. I mean, obviously I'll replace all three of them. You can see there where I cut the screw a little bit to work. But anyway, underneath the brackets, they've actually been siliconed in place, interestingly. All through here. Where's the other one here, I think? That one's been siliconed. Well, they all have. I thought it was a sticker underneath first, but it's silicon. So, have to see about replacing that. I don't know why they've done it, maybe so it doesn't slip. But anyway, you can see the, I think this is the earth cable, and you can see how terrible that is. So it's all worth doing, you know, taking this apart, cleaning everything up, and just helping the car run better when it's all back together. Okay, so this connection for the ground cable to the engine is pretty gross, as I said before, and I'm just seeing whether it actually comes out of this plastic housing. It's so caked in there, it looks like it's fixed to it somehow, but I'll try and clean it up and then see if I can get it out. Okay, so I finally got that cable out of that housing here. Took a bit of doing, and there's so much corrosion in there, or build-up of something. It looks like a brass end or something. But I'm going to clean that up now and see what's underneath the grime. Okay, so I've cleaned that fitting up. I've completely dunked it in grease and pushed it back into that bracket, that plastic bracket. Cleaned up the brackets which hold it onto the body, and I need one more screw. The other two are absolutely fine. I've just cleaned those up, but I need to find one like that which fits. So I've got nothing here in the workshop, but yeah, I'll see if I can find something. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with the cooling pipes now. I've been up here for quite some time, actually, like 6 hours, or actually it's 4 hours. It feels like longer. But it's just mad how long these things take, but they're looking pretty good. I've separated these two pipes here because the clip that was holding them together was looking pretty manky, so I've ordered a couple more of those from Porsche. So I've got a delivery coming in tomorrow, which I will go and pick up. These are not cheap, you know, these are like €5 including VAT each, so I actually cleaned up some of the old ones which had a nice lot of spring in them and painted them. This is a dubious one because that was quite rusty, but these two were virtually new, so I just cleaned those up and painted them. And yeah, it's sort of getting there with the coolant pipes. I've still got those small thin ones to do up there, and then hopefully I'm done cleaning these coolant pipes, aluminium coolant pipes, because it's a dirty job. But yes, I'm going to tidy up the workshop a little bit and then head home. I'll see you next time.